So today is traditionally Sunday of the Masters, and I know that we all miss it, but I want to take this opportunity to air a video that was already on this channel, but it's kind of buried. And it is Jim Traber copping to a bet that Tiger Woods would never win another major championship. And this was obviously last year, and it was great radio in the state of Oklahoma because the afternoon sports beat is a staple. And for those of us that love the mediums, sports talk, sports shows, we understand he's everybody's crazy uncle, and that's how he lives in our psyche. Even going back to last summer when he had his scare, there were so many people that were touched and moved by just him not being on the air that it spoke to just how powerful his presence can be. But I also love sports talk, and I like sports radio, and I guess I'm one of the rare host who will give props to other people who make good stuff. Like, I listen to a million other podcasts. I say a million, but I have like 5 that I really, really love. And I think one day I'm just going to talk about those. But this was historically awesome radio. And I want to re-air it today because, well, you'll get a particular glee out of hearing Traber try to own up to his assertion that Tiger Woods would never win another major championship. I hope you enjoy it.
It's time. Time to get ready for the ultimate.
How's that make you feel, huh?
Oh,
The man.
Tiger King.
I'm a man.
The myth. The ego. It's the afternoon sports beat with Jim Traber on 98.1 FM. WWLS, the sports animal.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the afternoon sports beat on this beautiful Monday. I'm Jim Traber, your host. Going to be with you until 6 o'clock talking sports, and I'm here today at Golf USA right here on Joel McDonald Drive. It's just west of Quail Springs Mall.
Well done, sir.
This place is absolutely big time. We'll be telling you all about it as we go along. But they have a special little treat today, ladies and gentlemen, in honor of, I don't know, maybe me or maybe Tiger Woods, but here it is.
Maybe me.
If you spend, just today during my show, if you spend over $100 in this store today, you're going to get a free Tiger Woods hat. That's a $35 value, okay? And they're all lined up in front of me. I don't know how it's right here in my face. Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods are all lined up. So come in and spend money today, and you will get yourself a free Tiger Woods hat. Let's bring in Mr. Mark Rogers. Where are you today, Mark?
Automax Hyundai in Del City, where earlier today you were pinned in, just so people could get the shots in on you. Here at Automax, backed up as you came to pay off the bet, which I knew you would early. So everybody's waiting to know. I want to know where you were. I want to know when it hit you, because I would not send a text to anyone proclaiming victory until 18. But I want to know when it hit you, Tiger Woods is going to win the Masters.
Get a Mark.
Well, I will tell you this. First of all, let me just say this. Congratulations to you, to Craig.
Thank you.
I've already got the money towards Craig as well. I also owe Josh $100. So if Josh is out there listening, please come by anytime you want. I'll give you $100.
Pay the book out.
First of all, I will tell you this. The very first thing, before I say where I was or anything like that, I really want to give it up to Tiger Woods. I know a lot of you people out there probably don't believe this, but I'm actually happy for him. I think this is a great, great redemption story. We'll talk about that as we go along. But I really was very impressed with how he literally changed his life, if you ask me. But I will tell you, I was on the couch.
Okay.
It couldn't have worked out any better because of it getting moved earlier, because then it didn't, coincide with the Thunder game. So
the loss.
I will tell you this. I had a feeling that he was going to win when all during the week, and this is not an excuse, Mark, but when all during the week, whenever he
what else do you call that?
He had a shot. Like 14, 2 different times.
Oh, that was
he hit the ball in the woods left.
Yep.
And now you still have to make the shot. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's amazing. This guy gets out of trouble better than anybody who's ever played the game. But he had shots every time. One time on 13, he hit it left. Well, a lot of times if you hit it left, it goes in that creek or it goes in the bushes. Well, it bounced out. So he had a little bit of a luck with the great stuff. When I saw that stuff happening, and then I also saw him really, and he says it in the article, if you read the USA today, he basically says that he really was patient. I saw him playing to the fact that I know this course, I know what I'm doing, I know that I can win this if I don't do stupid things. I had a feeling Friday into Saturday that I was going to be in trouble. I actually said, if you remember last year, I said at the end of the golf year, I said, boy,
calling back
I don't feel near as comfortable about this bet because he was starting to do the things that I thought he needed to do.
You did soften your stance significantly in the last year.
Would never change.
He had said that on Saturday, though. He had said that on Saturday, and it's exactly what he did. And, kind of a young Tiger would be the guy that would go out there and try to overpower the course.
Exactly.
And he had played with great course management. And I set on 12, Jim, on Thursday. And it's an amazing part of the course because that 11 is so hard. You've got that water so you could see the green there, and 12 is just off in the distance, and there's no one around.
I know.
And it's kind of in a bad spot, and the wind yesterday came kind of at the perfect time where those guys, and I remember, Craig and I walked down there, and he goes, on Sunday they're going to put the pin over here, and if you aim for the pin, you can miss, or you can hit the green and roll off. And it was incredible about how everybody, all those good golfers in that group, especially Molinari, who had been flawless for the entire week, all got duped by the wind, and they all came up short. And even with an 8-iron on a 150-yard shot, came up short because he couldn't judge the wind. And Tiger, Jim, he put it right in the middle of the green like a smart player would.
Brilliant. No, it was brilliant. And, I was sitting with Julie. Julie says, why didn't Molinari see that those other guys hit the ball in the water? And I said, Jill, because they don't see it.
They're not looking at that hole.
They don't know. They can't. They don't know. They're not watching TV. It'd be really, really nice if they could see that these guys are hitting the ball in the water, and then they might see, well, hit a little bit more club or maybe flight it down a little bit. I mean, it was just a brilliant move on 12. And then, look, here's the whole key. Look at 16, okay? So Koepka, Eagles 13, birdies 15. He gets to 12 under. And what's he do? He hits it up top. Does not roll it down. Cantlay gets to 12 under. He hits it up top. Doesn't roll it down. What does Tiger do? He gets it to 12 or 13 under. What does he do? Boom. He hits it perfect, rolls down, birdie. I mean, it was a brilliant, brilliant situation for the guy. Now, I will say this. I've heard people say that he ran away and blah, blah, blah. If Koepka can hit a putt on 17 or 18, Mark, well, then he has to par 18 to win, and he might do it. I mean, he knew he needed, I'm sure he knows he only needs a bogey to win it. But the whole thing was amazing. I bowed down to the guy. I mean, you look early in the round, I don't know if you saw this, but Molinari outdrove him on a couple holes. If that would have happened 2 years ago, Mark, the next hole, he'd have pulled his driver out and swung as hard as he possibly could and said, really? You're not going to outdrive me? Watch this. And Molinari doesn't even hit the ball very far. But one
thing I would say about Koepka, and this is one thing that I think you have to give him a ton of credit for, Jim, is that, you said that all these guys are so long and so good that are younger players, but it still shows you that the iron game is extremely important. Tiger missed some putts, but he also made some long putts this weekend, which is key to winning the Masters because that's so tough. The putting surface there is if you roll in a couple that you shouldn't, then you're going to have a big chance. But his iron game right now makes him one of the best in the world. I mean, he's back to that degree. Is
very impressive, no doubt. He was
stop dodging.
I mean, the iron he hit on 15 where he left it off to the right and just had a 2-putt for birdie. I mean, he did everything he had to do. And I bowed down to the guy, man. I never, ever thought that he would ever get back to this. It's very, very impressive. Now, as far as winning more majors, I don't know. I mean, he could very well. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't win them. I think he'll have a hard time at the U.S. Open, although this year it's at Pebble Beach, and, of course, he's dominated at Pebble Beach. But he is older, and I heard somebody earlier today, I think it was Rick Riley, who obviously knows the game very, very closely. I think he said something to the effect of, look, he's not as good as he was at 25, so don't anybody start saying that. But it's amazing what he did in this whole thing. Now, I was asked earlier today on a radio program, asked me, do you think that these other guys were intimidated by him? And I said, I'll tell you, it would be sad for me to believe that these guys around him were intimidated by him. But you have to admit, obviously, that a lot of these young guys grew up loving this guy, and I think that maybe they get caught up in the fact. Caught up in the fact. I don't know.
The answer to that is yes.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think it's because
I
think
like it used
he's got
to be.
a presence.
I think it's, yeah,
no, it may not be
yeah.
because he's got a presence about him, and those guys grew up that if they idolize him, I think that it did matter. But you also have to say this, is that the pressure of the Masters is huge. It's immense on everyone, whether it's Tiger or those other guys, but he's got the experience in the majors to deal with it. I think, and those other guys, it was tough on them. Now, hey, you were trending on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah, you were.
Well, I was going to say,
yeah, you were.
This is what I was going to say.
Yeah, you were.
I need to talk about that. Yeah,
went nuts. If you even had a Twitter account, you'd have broke the internet yesterday. You'd have been like Kim Kardashian.
Well, that's what's unbelievable about it is that I don't even have a daggone Twitter account, and I'm trending worldwide on. I mean, I would like to know if there's, unless the dude has shot somebody, has anybody, a local radio host, ever trended worldwide on Twitter? And by the way, don't even have a Twitter account. Yeah, listen, let me tell you all something, okay?
You're trending worldwide for making a bad
I would love
pick.
to have gone forever.
It's a bad take,
I
Jim.
still believe this is one of the greatest bets that's ever been made. I will never change my mind. I do. I will. But my big mistake was I should have not said ever. If I would have said 2 years or 5 years, both you and Craig still would have bet me. I guaranteed. 5 years for sure. Both of y'all would have done it.
But now you've doubled down on no tournament wins.
I know.
Get a mark.
Well, that's because I thought a couple of years ago, after the dude shows up drunk, wasted from drugs on the side of the road at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, dude. I mean, he gets a fusion on his back. This is incredible what this guy has come back and done. I didn't think he would ever win another tournament. So I was dead wrong on both. But let me tell you something, Mark. 2 things. Let me just real quick, okay? And I'm older than you, not a lot older than you, but let me just say 2 things. This whole thing should teach a lot of people a lesson, okay? One of them is that sometimes, as far as Tiger's concerned, sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to get to where you want to be, okay?
Are you really going to try to life coach your bad bet?
Incredible story of redemption. I look at him
Jim
on the
Traber
golf
trying
course
to
now.
Tony
You notice
Robbins us, y'all.
no F-bombs. I don't see any F-bombs from him when he hits a bad shot anymore. Now, maybe they'll come down the road. I don't know. But it looks to me like the dude has tried to change his life for the better. I think that deal on the side of the road was so embarrassing him. Do you remember when he was walking in that one tournament last year, and the dude had a picture of him, that mug shot of him, and he kind of laughed at it? Do you remember that on his shirt?
No, that
was it just weeks ago? Okay.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you something. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, he'd have had that guy thrown out of the tournament. Guaranteed. But I think the guy is realizing what life is all about, and his children. By the way, Julie brought up a great point. Don't you know that when he got caught with taking those terrible pain pills, and by the way, I have chronic pain. God has given me the ability not to get on those pain pills. I do kind of, some other things just to make sure that I'm doing okay. But let me tell you something. You know that his ex-wife talked to him and said, now, wait a minute, Tiger, I don't know if I want my children to be with you if you're doing all this stuff. You know that was a hard thing, Mark, for the whole deal. I think the guy turned his life around. I think he's turned his golf around. I think it's really, really impressive. Here's the other – good. You want to go ahead and comment on that, please? I'll
react to that real fast. John Rahm, I think, is taking over for him for the F-bombs. That guy is unbelievable out there. He's a temper tantrum in a giant man's body. But I like the pressure. The pressure just looks like it has come off of him for whatever reason. I have no idea what reason it was. But, following in the nah putt, I thought was a pretty cool moment, you know what I'm saying, where he's always been such an ultra competitor and he would never kind of let himself do something like that. But that kind of opened him up a little bit and showed, hey, I'm relaxed out here. And then I thought yesterday it said a lot, too, that in the Butler cabin, Jim Nance, who's done anything and everything in sports, to me looked like he was scared to death. And, and he was trying to get the emotion out of Tiger, and Tiger's just answering these questions like, hey, yeah, this is really good. It's almost like I kind of expected to be here. I felt like this would be the case. So it just shows what a good place he's in right now, I think. And to me, the swing looks great. All that other stuff is there. So I think this guy's back. I think you put him immediately in the top. He's in the contention to win majors every time they have one. Because he's been in contention the last two.
As long as he stays healthy, he'll be around. I don't think there's anything about it. So I actually, believe it or not, I know a lot of you people don't believe it, but I am actually happy for him.
You're right. I don't believe it.
that he's basically, forget about just the golf part, that it looks like he's got his life back together, because I think that's a nice story. You know, people I think can learn
Are you
from
ready
that.
to bury the hatchet here?
Now hold on a second.
Here we go.
I'm not going to go back to being the Tiger Woods fan that I once was, but I do think that he has become a better person. That's important. I really think it's a really important thing. You know, listen, life is not sports. It's not sports talk radio. It's life, and that's his life. And I think that, I think it's really, really cool that he's gotten that back.
That's
now,
life too.
Here's the other thing that I'd like to say. I had people, well, first of all, I had a bunch of people get my number, and it was just ridiculous yesterday, obviously. But I had one text message of a guy said that you should call in sick, for the next week and stuff like that. Let me explain something to people out there, okay? And this is, this is me talking and not Mark or anybody else out there. I'm going to tell you all something. One of the things about being a man in life is to be able to take the good with the bad, all right?
He's life coaching us.
This was going to be a tough day. I knew this
He's
was going to be a tough
life coaching us about what it means to be a man.
I would never, ever call in sick. Matter of fact, I had a dream last night. You'll love this, Mark. I had a dream last night that I had a car accident this morning driving, and I wasn't going to be able to go on the air. And you know what I did? I called in from the hospital bed. Okay, I just told you. That's the way I feel about this. Of course I'm going to come on the air. Because guess what? It's okay to be wrong about things, okay? It's okay to say you were wrong about something. Again, like I said, I will never change my mind. I think this was one of the greatest bets ever made. It ends up being that I was wrong. That's fine. People can rip me for it. But let me tell you something. I got the guts to go out on a limb. I've been out on many limbs in my radio career. A lot of the times the limbs hold up. Unfortunately, this time the limb broke and I fell to the ground. And Tiger Woods did it to me. But I'm going to say, again,
did it to you
it's
personally.
Okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. Here, let me tell you this. I'll tell you this, Mark. If on Saturday Tiger Woods would have gotten up there on number 17 and swung as hard as he could and re-hurt his back and retired from golf next week, okay? Just remember what I just said. If he got hurt on Saturday and retired from golf, you think there's any chance that I would have been trending worldwide on the on Twitter?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so there you go. So even though it's a negative, it's going to be tough for me. No, I'm not claiming victory. I'm wrong. I was absolutely wrong. But you know what? It's a victory for our whole station. That's what it is. It's a victory for everybody on this station. I guess somebody on the internet, there were so many things said about me. I don't have any idea, a lot of them. But I guess someone said that I'm a has-been. Well, guess what, my man? A has-been that's trending on worldwide internet. I don't know if that's a has-been, big fella. I think that's a guy who is still getting after it on the radio. So
only the backside of Kim Kardashian could have knocked you off yesterday.
That's
a Mark.
Big thing.
Attaboy, Mark.
I might never have.
Exactly right.
I might never have got up. But seriously, congratulations to you on the bet. I'm telling you. I'm telling you right now. 2 years, September of 2017, he said he may never play again. You guys were right, but I would have given you the $200 back then if I was you. I would have. But you were right not to do it.
Why would I ever give back money out before the bet is complete?
Well, because
if you had retired at that point, you may consider I'm never playing again. But you said that there were no parameters on the bet. That's why it was. That's why I think it couldn't be the greatest wager ever made on this planet or any other because. I won.
It's a great bet. There's no doubt about it. But let me ask you this. If I'd said 5 years, you'd have made it too, right? Just say yes. You'd have made it. 5 years, you'd have made it.
Nah.
Guaranteed,
back to
right?
The point. Yeah.
Just answer the question. You know you would have.
I would have probably made it at the time.
Okay, there you go. That's all you got to say.
But again, that's a flawed wager.
I was wrong. I can openly admit that I'm wrong.
Do you want to go back in on the $200 that I have in my pocket?
Get him!
For the second major, Jim.
Get him!
I'm done. I'm not betting against him.
Doggone it.
I'm not betting against him anymore. The guy's amazing. To come back,
this is a complete and utter mea culpa right here.
No, it isn't, dude. I felt like this now for about, probably a year, 8 months, 9 months.
That he was going to win?
No. Well, I told you. I actually told you at the end of last year's golf. That I was. There was a slight admission there that it's possible.
it's possible.
Yeah, no, I thought he had a chance. Last year was the first time I saw that I thought he had a chance, and whatever. I mean, he won, so I'm giving it up to the guy.